Because of my passion for online entrepreneurship and in believing the impact we can make if we can all discover our purpose and do what we love, the Passion and Purpose podcast was born. I hope to share more inspiring adventures with you, along with the people who have been there and done that. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Passion and Purpose podcast. This is Rashifal Rivera once again. And today I have a very special guest for you, which will be telling his story from BPO to CEO. And let me introduce him. He started in a BPO company at age 24 with zero knowledge in the business environment, no financial or capital, and any management experience. His success story was featured in an exclusive podcast by Payoneer.com as one of the three inspiring entrepreneurial stories to learn from, along with other international entrepreneurs. Awarded as one of the most outstanding dads of Iloilo City, that's a city here in the Philippines, as a young entrepreneur given by SM Iloilo City last June 2017 during a Father's Day event. One of the national trainer and advocate of the DigitalJobs PH training program of the Department of Information Communications and Technology in order to provide digital jobs in the Philippines countryside. Awarded as one of the 2019's most outstanding of West Visayas, given by SM Iloilo City last October 2019. He is also the CEO of Virtual Workforce Professionals Incorporation, a homegrown BPO company with nine expansion offices all over the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leif Brian Margallo, a good friend of mine. Hi, Leif.
Hi, Rosh, and hi, everyone. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Ikaw.
I'm good, Leif. I wanted to start with, asking about how you got started with your business because I'm sure that's what everybody wants to hear.
Okay, well, I actually started our company and founded our company way back in 2011. If I can still remember it right, I was already a freelancer then. I actually working as a freelancer way back in 2009. And then I think I just got lucky with one of my client in Australia. We were actually working with one of the biggest business brokerage firm in Australia. And then I have been with them as their sales consultant or business consultant for almost 2 years. And then way back in 2011, it was I think May when my client, his name is actually Lev Kaziner, offered for me to like expand the team. Like basically he told me that, Brian, we want to replicate whatever you're doing, and we want you to help us grow, the team who are help online. Like what he was trying to say is that we want to have more business consultants like you who will do telemarketing and telesales call, do some sales and marketing for the company. And then I just said yes to him without actually knowing that the offer was like actually approached me again and told me, no, Brian, no, Leaf, what we really want for you to do is that we want you to hire more people, you train them, um, we pay you, and you pay them. Just make sure that you get a share of what we are going to pay them, because you're going to be managing them. Also, you'll be the one to monitor them, and you'll be the one to make sure that the whatever operations we have on your online team is sailing. And I think during that time, I mean, I really didn't know how I would approach that offer, because at the end of the day, just wala akong experience in terms of management. I don't really have any experience in terms of like managing a team or stuff like that. And I didn't have any idea of how will I monitor people if they're working from home. How do I make sure that working? And I think it was just the right time, because way back in 2011, Odesk, which is Upwork today, was offering freelancers to create like an agency where everything was there, like how you can manage people in terms of HR perspective. You can also do business development inside the platform. Plus, you don't have to worry about the log in and log out of the agents, because they are actually there's like a management now like a management tool on the platform itself where it can track hours and everything like that. And so in-incorporate ko siya. I said yes to Lev. Sabi ko, sige, I can start with this. I opened an agency on Upwork. And then of course, because I had like almost 3 years of experience in the BPO, the first people that I invited to actually join our team were my friends way back when I was still in the call center. Like I think invited 16 or 18 of them, but I think only 7 joined. The like the first batch, if I may say, of VWP, yung offer ko work from home, ganito yung pay, sa bahay lang kayo, ganito yung gagawin natin. What we did with the company that we worked before, eto lang din yung gagawin natin. And then so they agreed, and that's how VWP started. Was an opportunity given to me by a client. I just had to, grab it
Grab it.
and test things out just to make sure that it happens.
Wow, amazing. I was listening to you, and I remembered that you asked me how I was earlier. I'm sorry, I got so excited into jumping into the first
No
question,
problem.
so I did not I did not answer that. My apologies, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm excited. Guys, I am just so excited to start, how to start Lee's story and share with you how he got started a BPO company, from a BPO employee to a CEO. Now he was telling stories. You were telling stories about how the opportunity was just handed to you and all you have to do is grab it. Were you not scared?
Yun nga, that was actually the first thing. I think that was the first thing that I felt. I was so scared. I had doubts in terms of, is this something that's for me, or is this something that I can actually do? I mean, way back when I was working in the call center, I already told. I think there was one. I mean, so many times I told myself that some kind of operations like this for small time operation, I think I can handle or do something about this, because I know how to acquire clients. Way back when I was still working with the call center, I was like an inside sales rep for the company that I was working with. I was basically the people that was closing clients or acquiring clients to be the client of the company that I was working with. So alam ko kung paano ko kumausap sa client, close them, stuff like that. But what I didn't have is the experience of like managing people. How do you manage agents? How do you manage clients? Wala din akong experience in terms of like account management or customer success. So I was scared. I had a lot of questions, but uh, that's I think that's when you get the opportunity and tell yourself na, even if you have doubts, you just have to grab it and see how it works. Wala namang risk eh. At the end of the day, if I'm going to think about it, walang risk eh. The offer was laid down to me, was given to me. I just had to recruit. I just had to train people. I just have to make it work. And
Mm-hmm.
the term, the thought of just making it work, it's already working for me, because the reason why the client is even expanding is because they saw that I was doing a good job, I think, with their company, and they just wanted me to replicate myself to those other people. So yun lang din yung ginawa ko. And then yun, that's how VWP started. That was way back May of 2011.
Wow, amazing. And then while you were building it, what are the challenges? What were the challenges that you had along the way?
Yun, dumating sa time na, I mean, hindi ko siya maisa-isa, but based on my experience, let's just say, yung dumating sa time na I saw the demand of the Filipino workforce, that it actually had very good and big potential to expand. Like I think from 7 na-reach ko yung 50 agency freelancers na nagtatrabaho sa BWP. So I had to think na, how do I manage this one, in terms of, because I'm a one man show. Like I have to manage recruitment by myself, I have to close client by myself, I have to make sure that financials, yung salary ng agents ko are in place, intact, walang error and stuff. Like I was doing it alone for I think almost a year. And then that's
Wow.
when, yeah, that's when the thought hit me na, sabi ko, I need to create managers, or I need help.
Yeah.
And so the usual thing that I think any entrepreneurs would do if you are opening a business, yung asset nyo will be a workforce, is to actually look for kumbaga candidates within your farm team. When you say farm team, diyan ka
From your
kukuha ng mga
existing.
leaders,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of like, I mean, I've been working with a lot of them for quite some time, like almost a year, and based on how I know about their performance working with the clients, working with me, parang pininpoint ko na ito bagay siya sa recruitment. I think ito bagay siya sa business development. I think ito makakatulong sa akin sa finance. And so, yun, I basically asked them to help me. Basically, I promoted them, kumbaga. So,
Yeah.
yun yung isang problem ko na I needed help in terms of how to really manage the team. Kasi I was seeing na sabi ko ang laki ng potential ng ganitong kumbaga system and process ng isang business, and I won't be able to do it on my own. And so that's one of the biggest problem that I actually faced when I was growing the company. But of course, after that, that's where the labor law comes in, diba? You have to
Yeah.
abide by compliance and everything like that. You have to have a very solid agreement with all the people that are working with you, especially na ang daming kumbaga, of course hindi naman natin I mean, a lot of times like more than 100 times siguro with a lot of freelancers na experience ko before, like malalaman na lang namin or malalaman ko na the client is already with them na kumbaga in under the table or something like that, which is something na wala naman kaming problema kasi ang dami namang opportunities. Kaya lang those things minsan nakakasira siya in terms of if malalaman ng ibang agents na in good faith naman yung pagtatrabaho sa amin sa VWP, and then in good faith naman yung pagbibigay ng opportunity, biglang ganon, like I mean, hindi naman gaanong malaki yung piece of the pie na kinukuha namin out of their share, for giving them clients. So yun, nagiging problema din yun sa amin. Of course, taxation, yun din yung mga una kong naging problema, kaya we actually hired someone na kumbaga talagang accountant siya. And then sa HR namin, we had to put in place like an HR generalist, to put in place policies, HR policies, mga anong tawag dito, employee handbook, fixed agreement, clarify
Yeah.
to them kung ano yung mga ano namin. So in a sense, mga compliance lang din yung mga, kasi yun nga, wala akong experience. So I just had to tap people to also kumbaga help us with the company. And I think one of the biggest challenges din that I had was, I mean, I grew up, wala naman akong leadership skills so I had to learn the hard way, like how do you handle your emotions when you're talking to employees with problems, if my problem in between employees, how do you mediate it or something like that. And good thing, di ba, malaking bagay na we are on the same network with Miss Janet Tural. So yung John Maxwell training, talagang it was very a big help in terms of how I grew
Yes.
as a leader and stuff like that. But yeah, those are challenges. Kumbaga randomly, those are the things na on top of my mind, growing the team.
Yeah, you mentioned something about being a leader and growing as a leader, because I've seen how you led your people, and not just VWB but also other people look up to you as a leader. What were you thinking back then when you were starting? I mean, how are you foreseeing yourself to become this kind of person, to become this CEO that would lead a lot of people? I mean, how are you thinking about that when you were still there and not yet here? You know what I mean? When you
Yes.
were still like you just promoted yourself to become the CEO all of a sudden, and then you're not yet the CEO material that you wanted to become.
That's actually quite funny because I mean that question, I can actually think of something funny about that, Rosh, because the job title CEO was actually just handed to me in an event. Like I was shocked. Why did they call me CEO? I think it was an event with Coach Jen. Na I was tagged as a CEO basically before, when I was growing the team. Like I think for 2011 to 2015, that the term CEO isn't even connected to my name, because at the end of the day I was considering the company as an agency, and that I was calling myself like, maybe yeah, I think I can call myself an agency director or something like that. But then nung na-invite ako sa event, biglang tinawag yung pangalan ko, and my name was kumbaga associated with the term CEO, and I was like, CEO. And I went into after the event, medyo sabi ko parang nakahiya naman yung ano. I mean, I was shy in terms of like I was tagged as CEO, and then eventually when
Right.
I was invited to other events like from our networks in the ICT, yun na yung tinag nila sa akin. So I was like, okay, tatanggapin ko na. I think the name CEO siguro suits my position. So okay, that's good. But to answer your question, that's actually I think the reason why I was shy, the reason why I was also not sure if I was actually, kumbaga, bagay ba sa akin yung CEO is because of the fact that I wasn't actually thinking of myself that time that I was already a leader and leading the team until such time that I realized that there are when you start to look at other people, like successful people that we know, like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk,
Ah.
those names, kumbaga minsan may interest ka, what are the things na what are ano kayang ginagawa nilang mga bagay that they have grown their business and stuff like that. And always I see that there's always leadership
Yeah.
na mababasa mo about them. And that's when I realized na sabi ko, I think there's some this is where I need to improve on. Like I don't care if I don't have the skill sets to do web design. I don't care if I have the skill sets to do SEO. Those are things that
Mm-hmm.
are out of my league. But I think in terms of leadership, I need to skip a step up, because if I want to really, bring this team into the whatever vision that I have, I think I need to improve as a person. I need to improve as a leader. So that's why I started reading books. I started to, I accepted, kumbaga, I enrolled sa leadership coaching ni Miss J. And basically, even, and before, hindi pa ako nag-leadership training, or even yeah, hindi pa ako nag-leadership training, there are certain my personality was very different. My character was very different in terms of how I handle issues within our team, how I talk to agents and stuff like that, until such time na kumbaga na-discover ko na being a leader, you have to be something like this. There are certain laws that you need to follow. There are certain laws that you not really need to follow, but you need to know for you to be an effective leader. And then eventually, I think I would say na kumbaga along the way, the coaching helped me, the learning helped me, and I actually do my own, what do you call this one, tests on my team. Like I usually do one-on-ones. I talk to them if my problem, ganito pala, if ganito yung problem, this is how you frame things in terms of para magkaayos lang sila or something like that. And yeah, I think I would say na nag-improve naman kahit papano.
Yeah, you won't be able to grow VWP to where it is right now if you hadn't been a good leader. All right, Leaf, what do you think made the most impact on you as a leader? Maybe in terms of people, experiences, or challenges?
Well, that's actually quite a good question, Rush. And I think I would say that all three of them, basically, I think for in terms of experiences, like I've experienced a lot of ups and downs growing the company. If I may say, like I think more than 10 times ko nang na feel na I would raise the white flag. Like kumbaga, I'm telling myself na I surrender na. I really I don't think I can go on with this anymore or stuff like that. Because of the problems that we've faced, within the company. Pero because I think of the motivation, and because of the people, I mean, seeing the people that you, kumbaga, seeing the lives of people that you change because of the company that you're trying to grow is quite like, it's a humbling feeling, and it's an inspiring feeling that would push you na, no, this isn't about me, this is about the person or the people that we're giving opportunities to. So I think, because of those experiences, those experiences had great impact to me. And in terms of challenges, yun nga, a lot of challenges have happened in terms of growing the company. I've kumbaga, there were kumbaga, there were times na our backs are against the wall, ano bang gagawin natin dito, problems like COVID, problems like nung mga bagyo, mga earthquake and stuff like that. And if you kumbaga, I think if you lack the grit and if you lack the leadership skills, kumbaga, I mean, a lot of companies, I know, like during this COVID time, they had to close down yung mga bagyong dating nag-hit sa atin. Like one of our offices actually had to close down in Bicol region because of the one of the storms. And it wasn't our decision. It was because of the partners there na sabi nila, even if we continue this, magiging mahirap kasi lagi kaming tinatamaan ng bagyo or stuff like that. So they just had to tell themselves na kasi okay naman sana yung operations doon. The problem was that hindi every time may bagyo, they would be offline for like 2 to 3 weeks. I know 2 to 3 days in a week or
Oh,
sometimes 1 week. So talagang sila mismo, they told themselves na I think as much as we want to do this, the I think the partnership will get affected kasi ang dami naming na lose na client din because of that eh. Maganda naman yung workforce nila doon, maganda yung supply ng tao, just that na like lagging brownouts and stuff like that, hindi pa naman nakapag-provide ng genset nun yung ang partner namin doon. Aside from the genset, lagging down yung mga internet connectivity nila doon. So yun, those were part of the challenges na kumbaga would really impact you and would give you like ideas in order for us to avoid something like this. With our
again,
future
in the
partners,
future. Yeah.
dapat iba yung gagawin natin, like check muna
Uh,
yung lahat ng facilities, yung location, and of course people. Like I think the biggest impact are the people around me. Like I think I will be I always tell myself and the people that I meet that I feel really blessed because of the partners that I met, with the business, and of course the network that I've created, like you guys, sa FAPSCO, sa DCAP, sa Online Filipino Freelancers, and the other kumbaga network natin sa freelancing, where it actually would, kumbaga, minsan silent reader lang tayo ng mga post nyo, like silent reader ako ng mga post nyo, ng mga lodis natin, and it in part inspires you because they also do like Fabsco, you Rush, you're impacting other people in your own way, and it inspires me to do, like, I think, I need to also step up. I need to do more because they're also doing their fair share of actually helping other people, so I need to also do good and stuff like that. So the impact of that into my growth in terms of leadership is huge. But most especially, the partners that I have within VWP na talagang tumulong in terms of how I grow the company, the managers that we have in the team, where kumbaga they're actually very sold and are with us 100% in terms of our vision for the company. So they're helping us out, and we're growing tremendously right now. We will actually have a convention with all of our managers across the Philippines, hopefully this coming October pag wala ng restrictions, and we will plan out more expansions for the team, and hopefully maybe not just the Philippines, but maybe out of the
hi.
country expansions pa, but hoping yun.
That's so nice. So, my next question would be: were you visualizing VWP as it is now back when you were starting, or everything is just coming, I mean, very surprisingly?
No, I don't think I imagined, like, if I'm going to think about it, Rosh, I think one of the reasons why I didn't say no sa offer ni Lev before was because, di ba, pag freelancer tayo, wala tayong safety net. Like, we are, kumbaga, if you're working as a freelancer, our income will be dependent on client. If a certain client ends, there will be certain weeks na wala tayong sweldo, wala tayong sasahurin because wala
Yeah.
tayong trabaho. So we need to apply. And I think for the past 2 years na naging freelancer ako, I had to think of ways na how do I provide myself a safety net where even if wala akong client, I still get like an income. I still get like an ongoing way of earning in terms of passively and stuff like that. And yun yung isang, I think, motivation ko to start VWP then, when the client offered me, na sabi niya yun, kaya ako hindi nag-say no, kasi sabi ko, I think this is the answer to my question of whatever safety net. But then when I saw that the business, the process, the business itself has a very big potential, kumbaga, I just did what I had to do in terms of having it expand. But thinking na kumbaga na visualize ko siya na ganito siya ka ano. Of course, I think mga way back 2016 sinabi ko na nung nagsimula kami mag-expand, nasabi ko I think my dream for VWP is to have like different offices in different parts of the Philippines where we can actually bring jobs and economic opportunities. And thankfully, pero hindi siya na kumbaga inimagine ko na dati. No, it was just kumbaga nung way back in 2016 nung nakita ko na pwede naman pala especially when nagsimula kami sa La Union, sa Pangasinan, I told myself, if we can do it on those places, why not on the other parts of the Philippines? And then eventually, yun, um, with the help of our network, with the help of the ICT, I was able to like also meet ICT champions in different parts of the Philippines where they were also kumbaga they were also sold in terms of the mission of VWP to bring jobs to their municipalities, to their province. Yun kaya ano pero in terms of visualizing na inimagine ko na ganito, I don't think so. Hindi.
Wow, what's funny is that the opportunity came and then you found your passion and then you found your purpose. But other people are looking for the passion first and the purpose first before they find the opportunity. You, it's the other
Exactly.
way around, it's backwards. And then other people are also trying to grow themselves so that they would fit into the person needed for a certain opportunity. You have to grow in within the opportunity itself, which is funny because very rarely that you can find people that can do that. Especially you were very young, you were 24 years old when you started. And as far as I can remember, you were also starting a family. Am I right
Yes.
at that time?
Um when I was 24, I think 1 year old na no. I think pregnancy yung ano ko, yung asawa. Actually 2011, 2 years old na pala yung anak namin. Nag-start ako ng freelancing, pregnant nun yung si Mrs. ko ngayon. But I was starting a family way back in 2011, but my wife and I and our son were not living together kasi andun siya sa let's just say hindi ako makapag-provide ng maayos sa kanila. So that's why my wife and my son was living with her parents. Uh, I had like a boarding house dito sa Iloilo. But then yun, freelancing and VWP paved the way for me to at least get my family and for us to live inside, in under one roof, and magkabahay kami and stuff like that. So yun. But yeah,
Wow.
I was starting a family when I was founding the company. VWP was like when I was growing VWP.
Yeah, and growing a business and growing a family are really two different things. But it's not easy to start both of them, at the same time, especially when you were young and you were inexperienced. What was the typical day back then when you were starting out, and what is the typical day right now? Has something changed?
Wow. Yeah. Now that I realize it. Well, when I was growing VWP Roche, I think it came na 5 years pa, 5 years old pa si VWP nung nag-think ako na talagang magfo-focus na ako sa VWP. Kasi when I was growing VWP since 2011 and 2015, meron pa akong mga direct clients eh. Like I work almost 16 hours per day. Meron akong clients, dalawang clients ko, same business consulting, sales and marketing pa rin while I was growing VWP because at the end of the day, I was addicted to the hustle. I was addicted to the hustle. I was addicted to the paycheck. Like on a week basis, like you see yourself like, wow, it's just a matter for me to work this hard in order for me to get this paycheck on a weekly basis, and then I also get a paycheck on a monthly basis out of the company that I'm growing. And so for the past 5 years to 4 years, 11 to 2015, talagang meron talaga akong client, hindi ko talaga siya binitawan. Until 2015 to 2016, nung magsimula na kami mag-expand, that's when I thought to myself, and basically because my partners also told me na, Leif, focus na lang tayo sa growth ng BWP. Why don't you, kumbaga, why don't you, ano na lang, wag ka nang kumuha ng client, focus na tayo sa BWP. And then realize ko din na, if I'm going to achieve whatever I want to achieve in VWP, then I think I will need to really focus on VWP. So in terms of how I manage my time before, like 16 hours to 18 hours per day, Ross, even the weekend, I still work. right? And that's before. But now, of course, because I already have a lot of people that is helping me manage the company. Like, I have a very strong account management team. That's actually one of the biggest impact right now. Na kumbaga, they're able to um, put our client retention rate up to 90% and more on a monthly basis. So hindi ko na kailangan mag-step in. And I also have a very strong business development team who's doing client acquisitions. All I need to do is to check on them on a weekly basis. Like on a Monday, I monitor them, and of course, our HR is currently being solidified. Actually, we had to revamp, but it's being solidified. We already have an HR generalist, and part of it are accounting. So, kumbaga ang typical yun. But the typical work day sa akin pa rin is hindi na siya 16 hours. It's between 10 to 12 na lang. I usually come to the office at 9. Pagdating sa office, magsi-sales jam session kami. When I say sales jam session, it's like we listen to music like praise and worship or something na upbeat na music for 30 minutes just to set the mood before you work. Have coffee, have your vitamin C, biro kayong sa akin, stuff like that. And that's it. And then we start work na kumbaga energized and stuff like that. Then the next day, 7 to 8 a.m., I go to the gym. Nag-exercise, sweat before going home, have breakfast, and yun. Pero hindi na kagaya ng dati na parang hindi na ako like, I couldn't even stand up. Like sometimes my friends would go, nagiinuman kami. Andiyan lang sila sa gilid. I'm working, nagiinuman kami. Like sabi nila, umalis ka naman dyan, weekend na, but andyan ka pa? But, the work, the hustle of like growing the company and stuff like that, you really have to dedicate and put so much time into it. But as soon as it grows and you have people around that can actually help you with the operations, it tends to, kumbaga, I wouldn't say it's easier right now. I mean, there are always challenges that we're facing, but it's different when you have people around and you'll know na kumbaga, like for example, right now, andito ako sa Guimaras, we have a family emergency. I'm confident that even if I'm away from the office, although I'm still going to work later, uh, the our team can manage everything in terms of how things will be run sa team namin. So, yun, it's quite different. Like before, like if I'm going to mention like hindi nga ako makapagsimba eh, 'di ba? Like before kasi including Saturday and Sunday may trabaho eh.
You
Now
have work.
I always tell kumbaga I always sa family namin, we always put Sundays every 5 p.m. na kumbaga we go to church and service para blessed yung the entire week. So yun.
Wow, wow. I really can't imagine working for 16 hours a week for somebody that's starting a family. And I'm so happy that your family stood by you during those times, because when you have a kid, you have a child with you, and you don't have a partner. Your partner is so busy working. It's not easy to accept the fact that this is what it is. You know what I mean? And kudos to your wife for that, for supporting
Yeah.
you all the way.
And I think also the change right now, speaking about family, is kasi dati lagi kami nag-aaway ni Mrs. na always parang wala akong time sa kanila and stuff like that. And right now,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, she would always tell me this actually na kumbaga a lot has changed, and we're very thankful sa kay Lord kasi hindi na kagaya ng dati na halos kahit weekend hindi wala kang time sa anak mo. And now ngayon dalawa ng anak namin, yun, may oras na talaga ako sa bahay, like kahit every day 2 to 3 hours I can be with my youngest. Sometimes I play with my son with Mobile Legends, and during the weekends we can spend time on movies. We go out yung pag hindi na masyadong strict yung restrictions. So yun, hindi na kagaya ng dati.
Is she also part of VWP, or she's
No,
a
no.
full time wife?
My wife is actually working with Nestle Philippines. She's actually the regional head of some projects of Nestle. But I actually offered her na kumbaga, why don't you work with VWP? But then there are also certain things na gusto niya, na sabi niya, I also want to have self-fulfillment in other industries. And I think it's doing
Yes.
kumbaga, it's doing her good because she's motivated, she's inspired, and she's always happy because at the end of the day, she can also impact other people with Nestle, and she can also share things with me na kumbaga kasi nagli-lead din siya ng team, and sometimes we have fun exchanges about her work and also VWP. Pero no, hopefully maybe in the future yun yung gusto kong gawin niya, but as long as she's happy with the, even if she's not working with VWP, I also support her with that.
Wow, wow, so sweet. I like that. Well, was there ever a time, Leaf, that you doubted yourself if you can, still continue being the CEO of VWP? And if ever that there was, what did you do?
Yeah, a lot of times, Rosh, like pinaka-recent was the COVID-19, nung na-hit kami ng COVID-19 way back 2020, na a lot of our offices had to close down because uh, hindi pwedeng mag-report sa office, hindi pwedeng mag-opisina. And like for example, sa Cadiz City, yung mga agents naman namin, yung locations ng mga bahay nila, hindi abot ng internet connection. So kumbaga, I was devastated. Like a lot of our offices were having problems in terms of how we can manage and could still continue to work with clients. So yun, kumbaga, it was a challenge. I actually didn't doubt myself that time, pero kumbaga, I would say na kumbaga, I almost raised the white flag in telling myself na mukhang ang grabe yung problema. I mean, ang dami eh. That's just the tip of the iceberg, yung COVID. Pero ang daming nangyayari. Like, there are also clients na redundant yung campaign nila because hindi pwede because of the restrictions. And a lot of our companies, like face-to-face appointment setting yung ginagawa namin. Ang dami naming clients, like imagine you would lose like 2 million in a month because na ang daming campaign na magko-close down because hindi pwede yung appointment setting. So kumbaga, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Ang dami pang naging problema. So kumbaga, I almost raised the white flag and stuff like that. And kumbaga, sabi ko baka hindi na nga hindi na to time ng VWP, baka it's time to really stop it. Then of course, because of the support of the family, and prayer helps, really really helps. You pray,
Yeah,
you ask God for guidance, you just ask God na, is this part of your plan? Kumbaga, I mean, it wasn't some sort of like a questioning him, but it's like telling him na, um if this is part of your plan, please, kumbaga, if this is just a delay or something of a challenge, please guide me through the tunnel, to see the light kung ano yung gagawin namin. And eventually, kumbaga, it helps ease na kumbaga kahit ang bigat ng feeling, if you pray and if you know that He is listening, kumbaga parang mafe-feel mo na dadaan lang to. I'm sure ang blessing ni Lord, babalik din yan or something like that. So yun, prayers, support ng family, you just have to talk you just have to talk with other people. Like sa mga partners ko, I just had to talk with them. They gave me a sense of kumbaga, kumbaga, a sense of light na no, kaya natin to. Kumbaga, kung sa Ilonggo pa parang kanugon, that's the term eh, parang sayang na andito na tayo, kumbaga magsusurrender pa tayo. We just have to work on this, we just have to work around this, stuff like that. And then
try
you
our best.
realize, yeah, and then you realize na kumbaga, it's quitting is not an option. Other people still believe in the companies, other people still believe in you. Kaya yun, I motivated myself again, stuff like that. But so many times self-doubt and dami. Like, I think that's also the reason why I had to tell myself that I need to improve as a leader, because I doubted myself as a leader before. But a lot of times prayer helps. Kumbaga, talk to other people what they think, especially your partners, or especially your business partners, your partner, your wife or your husband.
All right, thank you so much, Leif, for sharing that. Do you have any message for those online freelancers or those who are in BPOs right now who wanted to build their own empires, their own businesses? What can you give them advice on?
um well, I think, what I just, as I always say, especially if I give talks to especially students. It's the same thing. Like challenges are there to actually make us a better person. Most of the time, a lot of people quit. Kumbaga, quitting is really not an option. Like challenges help us grow. Challenges help us to become a better leader. Challenges help us to improve whatever business, the business that we have. So, think positively of the challenges that are coming to you. Basically, the challenges are there to give you lessons and not, to make you quit. At the end of the day, again, the Lord is always listens. Just pray, ask for His guidance, and apart from the Lord, value your network, value friendship. Value the people around you, because at the end of the day, if you face challenges, you have to talk to people that would have an idea about the challenge or maybe na experience na nila, and you can ask guidance, you can also ask wisdom, stuff like that. Because I think not a lot of people think that having a network of people, or having relationships with other business people or friends, kumbaga, they don't think it that's valuable. That, for based on my experience, kumbaga, malaking tulong if you have a very, very wide network. Like VWP
Yeah.
has grown because of the help of the network that was given to us, by DICT. Of course, blessing yan ni Lord. Kumbaga, and right now, the team is being solidified, revamped in terms of all aspect of it, because of the network that we have, like lawyers, accountants and stuff like that. So value your network. Challenges are there to help you learn, to help you improve. So just face it, don't quit. Yun lang. It's cliche to say don't quit, pero yun talaga yung ano eh. Yun talaga yun eh. Just don't quit. Continue. If you think, you're doing something good, you're doing something right, just continue doing it. Yun lang.
And then you'll feel it. You'll feel if you're on the right path, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You'll
if you
feel.
especially if you feel fulfillment in whatever you do, even if the money doesn't come in, if you feel fulfilled, I think you're doing a good job. Money will just come in eventually. Yun eh. At the end of the day, sometimes yung mga nagki-create ng business, yun yung always na ano nila eh. Hindi naman to worth it eh. Hindi naman to nag-generate ng cash flow or something like that. But at the end of the day, if you think you feel fulfilled of whatever you're doing, you just continue doing it. Eventually, money will just come in. Yun yung na-experience ko din sa VWP eh. Sa ups and downs namin, like maraming downs na losses and stuff like that, almost magsusurrender kami. But then, because we feel fulfilled of helping other people, okay lang ma-losses ngayon. Eventually, you just continue what you're doing, continue helping other people, and eventually, money will just come in. Parang ganon.
Yeah, yeah. On that note, this is supposed to be my last question, but then I need to follow it up
Sige, sige, go ahead, Roche.
because mentioned something about how about feeling that it's the end of it's the end of the rope for people that are into challenges, especially if they're not receiving an equal monetary compensation on what they're doing. W- how can you say, what can you say to them that are into that, they're barely hanging there because they cannot get the monetary compensation that they're expecting? Aside from just don't quit, how long should I hold on? How would I feel that this is the right thing for me? How would I feel that I need to hold on because something more beautiful and something more meaningful will happen out of what I'm doing right now?
Just like I said kanina, um, you if you started a company or a business, I think it's because you had a vision, and that vision alone is something na, kumbaga, if you reach that vision, you'll, kumbaga, may self-fulfillment ka eh. Kumbaga, you will have a sense of purpose na I want to create like maybe a karinderya because I want to offer like good food, quality food on a cheap price for the people that are like
Mhm.
nagta-tricycle driver,
That
or
can't
maybe
afford much, yeah.
oo, oo. So that alone and that vision alone and because you think that you have a sense of purpose, yun gagawin mo yun. At the end of the day, pag nagsisimula ka or something, or even if you're already running your business and basically cash flow doesn't come in, expected na yun eh. On business, hindi naman araw-araw fiesta eh. There will be certain days, there will be certain months na talagang mahina yung business, mahina yung negosyo. But if the monetary gain, if your vision, if your sense of purpose is larger than the monetary gain, at the end of the day, I think secondary lang naman yung monetary gain eh. Of course, we need finance, we need monetary gain to keep the business afloat and to also pay ourselves and our efforts. But at the end of the day, I think that's second eh. The reason why magtatayo ka ng karinderiya is because, again, because of your vision, because you want to have a sense of purpose. Second na lang yung monetary gain eh. And if you feel
Monetary.
if you feel the fulfillment of I'm happy because my customers like the food that I have, they're happy, nabubusog sila and stuff like that. That's self-fulfillment. You are actually seeing your sense of purpose na ito na yon. And then eventually, you just continue to do that, and then we discover na parang kumbaga ay kulang yung monetary gain or something like that. You just have to think about it eh, na kumbaga, well, even if ganito lang, like let's say for example hindi ko na aabot yung quota ko, but then I still have people that I'm making happy because of yung mga niluluto namin, or nabubusog namin sila or something like that. You just continue what you do. Like eventually, the people that you're actually giving food to or something like that, maybe they will be bringing friends and stuff like that, and then eventually yun yung experience ko Roche sa VWP eh. A lot of times we have ups and downs, ang daming beses na down na you'd say na kumbaga, it's the whatever we're getting, or me and my partners are getting, weren't enough in terms of like paying for our family or getting us through the month or something like that. But then we just continue doing it kasi alam namin eh na talagang business is up and down, until we learned a few tricks, a few strategies na in order for us to not experience that again, dapat ganito yung gawin natin. That's why we're expanding. Kasi hindi din kami dapat umasa sa individual centers eh. It needs to be a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if one center is down, we still have other centers that we can run na hindi kami magkakaproblema. So parang that's the gist of what I'm trying to explain. But for me, if you have a sense of purpose, if you have a sense of fulfillment in whatever you're doing, the monetary gain is secondary. Kumbaga, darating din yung monetary gain if you just continue your purpose, and then keep at it in terms of strategy. How do I'm already happy with what I'm doing. I'm already happy with the people that I'm impacting. Now let me think about the monetary gain. How do I do something to like grow this? Kasi ang ganda na ng momentum mo eh, in terms of your self-fulfillment, your sense of purpose. So next, I need to pay myself. How do I strategize in terms of kumbaga magiging happy na din ako in terms of the monetary gain, along with the sense of purpose and self-fulfillment that I'm after because I'm doing this. Parang ganun lang yung
Yeah.
parang idea doon.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Leif. I also wanted to add that people sometimes overestimate what they can do for a year or two, and then underestimate what they can do for 10 years. Because if you just
True.
hang in there just long enough to grow the business, to continually do what you're doing, you will really feel the impact, not just on a network basis, but also on monetary basis. And you would
Exactly.
feel that you're really doing and fulfilling your purpose. And happiness, from within, is really already a very big blessing that you can share to everyone.
I
Right.
agree.
So
Yun din
thank
kasi
you so
siguro
much,
yung
Leif. Despite
yun din siguro yung problem
Yeah, go
minsan sa
ahead.
ibang entrepreneurs rush eh. They want to rush success. Na
Yeah.
kumbaga, I need to reach this within the next 2 years or 1 year or 2 years, di ba? Pero kahit isipin mo, there are, kumbaga, the success doesn't happen overnight.
Overnight.
Kumbaga, a lot of times na naririnig natin yan. But at the end of the day, depende sa vision natin. Like, it can take 1 year or 2 years for some businesses, but some businesses it can take 10 years. Some businesses it can take 20 years, di ba?
Yes. That's right. That's right. We just have to hang in there long enough before, long enough to see the fruits of our labor.
Yes,
It's
I
just like
agree.
fruits, diba? Different fruits, different trees bear fruits on different times. So you have to wait for your own time.
Season.
Yeah, yeah. You have your own season to grow and bear fruits next. All right. Thank you so much, Lee, for joining with me today here at the Passion and Purpose podcast. I hope you guys also learned a lot of things from Leif's adventure from BPO to CEO. And I hope that you will watch for the next episode of the Passion and Purpose podcast for another inspiring adventure.
Thank you also, Passion and Purpose, and Roche. Thank you also, and everyone.
Thank you, Leif. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Passion and Purpose podcast. Join us next week for another inspiring adventures.